Dark as the Void is a very regular viewer on the channel, and a regular donator as well. And if I'm not mistaken, it's his first time subscribing. So Dark as the Void, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Get some love in the chat, please. Get some SGI hearts, some SGI loves. 2 Twitch Prime subs in a row. Thank you guys, do appreciate it. And with that, let's jump in. Let's throw ourselves into this game, shall we? Top left-hand side of the map. The red Zerg player from Imber. Give it up if you're going to be cheering on Armani here in game 1 of this best of 3 in the round of 8. To the bottom right-hand side, the blue Terran player from Team Liquid. It's uThermal coming on. And been looking very good lately. Looking good on the ladder. Been looking good in the Corsair Cup last night. Taking down Nurture 3-2 in the finals. Looking very, very strong. Despite Terran maybe not looking so great lately. But hey, Protoss getting nerfed. Maybe it's time for another Terran era of dominance again. What was scary this Easter was seeing all the resubs get subtracted at once since nothing happens in banks on red days. It's like, swoop, gone. Easter, man. We need bank holidays. Why are there bank holidays? Everyone should work all the time. Okay, that's a terrible idea. Sorry. I never said that. Way to make everyone dislike you. Reaper on the way up here for uThermal. Setting this up, getting ready to go. Nothing too crazy about his opening in the early stages. A command center comes down on the low ground in the meanwhile. And from Armani, nothing really too obscure or anything either. Hatch gas pool is the opening. So he opens hatch gas pool and yeah, just really nothing crazy at all. Not kind of pool first play like we saw out of Silky against Alive. This is going to be seeing sixlings on the way up. A couple of queens building as well. And that Zergling speed from Armani is now starting on the spawn pool. So Link speed on the way coming through here, and again back at home from uThermal, the factory is starting to build a second gas too, so not going to be a 2-1-1 opener. There's going to be a nice little factory-based opener, which does give you a lot of different options as to how you can follow up, what you can get done, what your next kind of play is going to be. You can keep the Zerg guessing and definitely keep forcing them to scout again and again, while they really try and figure out what's going on and what's happening as we see the Overlord here. Just going to move over to the left side. This other Overlord will come into position, getting ready to scout. Reaper hops straight up and towards the main, sees the Lings at home. Obviously sees it's a hatch first as well, so no need to pull that Reaper back. And we'll get one Ling kill, pop down to the low ground, and we'll be able to slide his way past that Queen and the Zerglings to escape here. This is Reaper pulling down. We'll take the right-hand watchtower, I guess, in a moment or two. Pneumatized Carapace starting up from Armani as well. As Pneumatized Carapace comes on through, we're going to see 7 more drones being built. The starport is about to finish from uThermal. And of course, it's kind of expect to see a starport if you've gone for a factory and a second gas coming down. Otherwise, you don't take the second gas and you just go for a fast food CC with a few of these Hellions. So Vikings starting to build on up here, and yeah, I mean, just Viking Hellions, very safe opener. I guess the Viking doesn't keep him too safe. I guess it will allow him to be a little bit aggressive here in the next few moments. As this one Reaper coming around the left-hand side, and we'll be just looking to pick up further information. Sees, well, about 300 gas mine, but there's not really anything to show for it. I mean, 300 gas mine, he sees a Rotor now in the back of a natural. I'm being silly, like, where's the gas gone? If he's mined 300 gas, and he's used 100 on speed, 100 on a lair, where's the other 100? I feel like I'm being really dumb somehow. It's just weird, does that not add up? Maybe it's just me. He's mined 300, and he's mined like 400, and he's only used like 200 of it? I think I'm being really stupid somehow, and someone's going to point it out to me. I'm going to be like, oh, duh, Wardy, you idiot. I think he's going to try and poke on through here, and I mean, Roaches aren't ready just yet, but the Queen and Ling positioning is pretty good. uThermal actually backs away without losing a single Hellion. Quite impressive considering the situation. And this is pretty crazy. This is, this one Viking. This one Viking just moving around from uThermal, and that's actually already picked up 2 kills. It's not bad for the single Viking. I mean, usually you see it getting 1, maybe 2 throughout the game, but getting 2 so quickly is very effective, and he's actually going to run into a couple more Overlords on this right side of the map. So Overlord going huge right now. Going very huge right now as we see more of these Hellions joining up on the right-hand side watchtower. Nice network comes down from Armani, so setting up into this. Armani gets that ready to go, and it's going to be seeing these roaches running forwards from him. Maybe it was a... Well, I mean, I'm still confused by that gas. Anyways, it doesn't matter now. As this Raven comes through and is going to get ready to throw down an order turret, start harassing. The thing is, and you'll see the lair, but does he figure out that obviously there's got to be something with the lair here, i.e. there's a Nidus network. It's in the natural, so it's not very scoutable by this Raven. I mean, a Banshee starts to build, though, which is obviously a great way to help defend. I mean, having a Banshee is good damage output, but with Queens in the Nidus, it's not something that's just guaranteed, you know, and, well, uThermal, he does not have vision in the corner of his base, so he's actually in a little bit of an issue. He's in a little bit of an issue here, because he has no idea about this at all. His Hellions out of position. He sees no saturation on the third, though. I mean, is that a bit of a telltale sign? I mean, his back starts to switch on over. Banshee on the way. I mean, he just has nothing in the main base at all here. As Armani starts to just come on out of this Nidus network. Roaches are coming out very swiftly. Queens are already here as well. And uThermal, how does he hold this? Well, his Hellions are still across the map. They could potentially get damage done. An order turret does a bit of damage as well. I mean, uThermal is already on such a low army supply count that the fact that he's got so much across the map is worrying for him. However, the two Banshees so far doing a great job. And actually, so few transfuses coming through. The lack of a Overseer is insane considering there's a lair up with this build. But the Banshees are actually picking away at a lot of these Queens. If he can get rid of, I mean, he's going to get rid of another high energy one. I mean, one Banshee running out of energy now. The Overseer coming through as well. 23 SCVs lost. It's just going to be a bit too much. And I'm going. And to the bottom right hand side of the map, we'll kick things off with our red Terran player from Team Liquid. It is going to be uThermal. Down a game in this best of 3, and you can see his build order choice already starting to become clear here in the early stages. As to the top left hand side of the map, our blue Zerg player from Izimba. Give it up for Armani. Proxy 2 Rax Reaper, potentially Proxy 3 Rax Reaper. There's a possibility here. We'll see exactly what uThermal does. See this SCVF. I mean, Proxy 3 Rax Reaper. Why go 2 Rax if you can go 3? In TvZ, it's not like a matchup where you're likely to, if with this Proxy Reaper play, lift up and go back home at some point, as we're going to be seeing the barracks. First one about to finish on up, and yeah, just going to be seeing the pressure beginning. I mean, obviously from Armani, Hatch Gas Pool wasn't exactly kind of a super... I mean, it's just a standard opening. And of course, Abyssal's kind of a decent map to do this on for the one reason that your opponent's not likely to see where to see your base early because of the large rush distance or large kind of overlord kind of travel distance that has to come into play for that overlord to then see, oh, you've got no racks in your natural. I mean, the other benefit is it's still a 2-player map with those overlords not seeing your base early. I mean, you could do this on Cactus, but where do you proxy the racks? And there's a bit of a gamble as well. On this map, I mean, the Reaper's going to hit before the overlord sees it, so Armani has no way to change his build order until right now, where obviously the initial damage is... Obviously, it's not like he's going to get a heads up on this, so the only way to really get a kind of a heads up is to drone scout, which is very rarely done at this high level of play, as Armani would much rather kind of prefer to kind of rely on his micro, as we're going to be seeing already. These first Reapers doing some damage. That grenade a little bit misplaced there. Maybe expecting the Zerglings to keep on chasing where they didn't. Whenever SCV comes up to the high ground, I mean, this SCV can actually do quite a bit of tanking and mess with the AI of Zerglings and drones quite dramatically, so it's actually cool to see this coming up, as this time the grenade does help to pick up a kill. Now Queen coming into play, and we'll see that Queen starting to take quite a bit of damage as more Links coming out. Link speed about halfway done. By the time Link speed is finished, though, the Reaper count will be pretty scary. It's all about how much damage you can get done up until that point, obviously. I mean, the more you get done, the better of a transition you will have when Link speed is up. And when I say transition, the better of a kind of further Reaper follow-up you're going to have, trying to continue to spam out Reapers and do more and more. Full Reaper's going to jump up into this main base, and going to be trying to do a little bit more here, getting rid of a Zergling, and some drones now pulling around, not sure where they want to go exactly. Grenade, as we're going to see more Links getting picked off. I mean, considering that this is going to be so dependent on... Oh, nice Reaper save there. Considering that it's going to be so dependent on having enough Zerglings when the Ling speed finishes, killing Lings like this with the Reapers is pretty huge, as right now Ling speed finishes up, and the Reapers are getting caught right here. They're going down, and meanwhile, actually across the map, some Lings did come into the base of uThermal, so he had to go and deal with that at the same time. He lost 5 workers. Now he's 2 workers down. More Lings will go across the map with speed in play. They'll get across the map even more quickly. And yeah, 11 drones to 9 SCVs is both low economy, but uThermal is so much likely to lose more than that, while Armani is still kind of just producing Lings here and able to keep on fighting. Here we go, Lings getting up this ramp, and I mean, this is going to be the end of all of uThermal's economy. These SCVs will not survive this. There's no way to clean this up. And so uThermal basically has to kill every single drone right now with his last few Reapers. The problem is uThermal, or Armani I should say, is still mining a bit right here, but not any longer. These Reapers might be able to do it. Only 8 more Zerglings on the way. I mean, that's not a lot. Neither player is going to have mining. uThermal doesn't have money for a CC, for a orbital command, by the way. These last Lings are so important, man, and they're starting to drop down. How many of them's left? 2, 3? There's 3 Reapers remaining. This is so close, because obviously you can kind of kite for days against drones. 3 Reapers, is there? 4th Reaper that I'm not seeing here somewhere? There it is. 4th Reaper comes in. Can't get surrounded, obviously. Drops a grenade. Good connection initially. Drones are starting to get back to mine, but the connection is so good on the grenades. Drone's going to get back to mine, perhaps, maybe. I don't think so. I think Armani loses everything. I think uThermal, in the end, just takes this. The 4 supply victory. The 4 supply victory. Wow. Get much closer than that. Guys, it's game 3 of this best of 3 TvZ, and we're going to kick it off to the top left side of the map with our blue Terran player. Give it up if you're going to be teaming on Team Liquid's uThermal. Bottom left-hand side, our purple Zerg player from Izimba. Give it up for Armani. What a game. I mean, I just have to say it myself again, like, what a game. Absolutely crazy stuff there from uThermal just to claw it out to victory in the very, very end. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Vertical spawns here on Cactus Valley for our 3rd game of this best of 3. After this, we will go into both of the semi-finals, guys. We'll start with a live versus Hush in our upper semi, and the winner of this will play the winner of Hurricane and Penguin in the lower semi-final match. So that is ongoing. That's going to be what's happening, and that is our plan for the day. And then, of course, we've got our finals coming up after that, which will be best of 5. So there's still some good StarCraft action coming on up. We've been live about an hour and 45 so far, and we've got 2 best of 3s and best of 5 to follow this. So it's a good day of StarCraft, guys. It's cool. Looking forward to it. Good to be back as well. Obviously being gone for a few days, been chilling and just taking a little bit of a vacation, I guess. Relaxing. Just catching up on just kind of... Well, not catching up on anything, just catching up on relaxing, I guess. Gotta chill out sometimes. Can't work forever. Well, you can if you're disciplined. I'm really thirsty today. It's kind of weird. I don't know why I'm so thirsty. I'm just like, need water. Need more water. Anyways, let's maybe talk a bit about this game. Reaper will find Armani in the final position, which is again vertical spawns, which is pretty okay for uThermal, really. I mean, anything that isn't cross, you'll be happier with than the Zerg will be. So, you know, it's just that ability to just be a little bit more aggressive, as he will pick off 1 drone here initially with the Reaper, and the Lings do catch that Reaper in the end. He's already seen the information he wants, though. I mean, it's nice if you keep the Reaper alive, but he's already seen Ling speed. He's seen Overlord speed too, so he knows where that extra gas is going. And now these 2 Hellions getting pushed away. A 3rd and a 4th Hellion about to pop. They'll be lifted by the medevac, and obviously the idea is here to get some damage going, get some harassment rolling. And it will also give uThermal just a secondary scout off the base if these Hellions run on in there. As you're going to see, Armani knows uThermal is in the top left and expands towards him. Now obviously that's not what you see too often, because in general, a Zerg is the player who wants to play more defensively. He has to deal with the kind of the Terran nonsense. So generally the Zerg wants to pull away and kind of, you know, have the Terran have to push even further. I mean, vertical spawn is already very push friendly here for a you know, for a Terran player. The fact that now he has less distance to push and rally, well, you got to kind of imagine that Armani has an idea of his own, and with a lair and a roach one coming up, I'd imagine he's going to play a very aggressive roach style, simply because that's the only reason I can imagine he wants to expand towards his opponent, so he can reinforce faster, so he can sort of take the Terran's role. And this TvZ, uThermal will see that, will begin to realize it, as well as barely any units here. Some Queens and Lings at the front leaves the main base completely vulnerable, and 4 Hellions hit this mineral line. 3 drones on the first volley, 1 more on the second, and those drones are pulling away, starting to line up a little bit. Ooh, a little bit messy right there, as he will have to lift and back off with the medevac. 2 Hellions still posted out front as well, ready to maybe come back into play at some point. Only 5 workers. Felt as though, I mean, it always feels as though it could be so many more of those Hellions, but 5 is still a reasonable number considering he didn't lose anything at all. A Banshee follow-up as well, with Cloak included, means there's so much potential further harassment for this, and obviously with the distractions that he's getting going so far, as 5 more drones go down, now 2 more as well, so 7. It's again just going to be, you know, does Armani remember to build those spores, for example? Well, he's building one in the natural, nothing in the main base, however, but he does have a lair, so an Overseer can come into play. uThermal, he's seen the lair, but does he think about the Nidus? Well, he's going to start poking in towards the natural expansion right here. Cloaks, multiple Queens, and a Spore Crawler. Backs away. I mean, surely he has to kind of consider it to some extent. He did build a couple of Cyclones, by the way. Now he's coming down in the corner. He's really not ready for this at all, but Hellions are back into the main mineral line. I mean, it's another 4 workers. So this time, going into this, uThermal is in a much better set of economy than in the past. Or in the previous game where we saw this, he'll scan, and now he'll see the Nidus. I mean, just as it starts to pop out over here, though, so can he make this defense happen? 2 more Cyclones on the way up. Stim is in a bit of a precarious position here. Again, not as many Roaches, though, as before, because, simply put, he just was able to do so much more eco damage this game than the last game. Banshee will pull back so he can reach the Roaches, but not be hit by the Queens, of course. SCV's pulling in. Remember, he can afford to lose a few more SCVs this time around. 18 lost, not as bad as the first game of this series, as the Cyclone's really just putting out so much DPS. Has to keep his SCVs here, I think. He does have a 3rd CC, so rebuilding workers is not going to be too difficult. You're going to see these Cyclones are really just unkillable at this point. I mean, obviously, he has to use a lot of SCVs to tank, but the damage they put out is insane. And the tech that the Zerg players left on here is just so low. And a 7 worker lead is not really going to be enough to keep Armani in the game. GG is caught.